Imagine meeting someone for the very first time
Hmm.
at your wedding. You're standing there at the altar, looking into the eyes of a complete stranger, and then without hesitation, you actually say, I do.
It's an extraordinary premise, isn't it?
Totally wild.
Yeah.
And that's the whole concept behind Married at First Sight.
Yeah, it's positioned as this, profound social experiment.
Hmm.
A really bold attempt where a team of relationship experts meticulously matches individuals
Right.
who then, quite literally, marry without ever having met face to face.
Never even seen a picture, nothing.
Exactly. And for the next several weeks, they have to navigate the incredibly intense, often pretty awkward and deeply personal early days of marriage,
All on camera.
all on camera. And it all culminates in this pivotal decision day.
The big moment.
That's the day they choose. Do we stay married and try to build a future, or do we divorce and just go our separate ways?
And, while that concept alone is inherently fascinating,
Hmm.
Married at First Sight has really evolved, hasn't it? It's become much more than just a simple search for love.
Oh, absolutely. It's widely known now as a hotbed of historical controversies. It feels like every season is just brimming with these jaw-dropping scandals.
It really does. It's
Yeah.
definitely not just about hopeful romance anymore, is it?
Far from it. I mean, this series has consistently delivered some of reality TV's most shocking, sometimes uncomfortable, and often, let's be honest, ethically questionable moments. And that keeps millions of viewers glued to their screens, but maybe for reasons that extend way beyond just the pursuit of everlasting love, the drama. It often just completely overshadows the romance.
It really does. So today, our mission is to take a deep dive. We're going into the shocking scandals that have kind of defined this show.
Yeah.
But maybe even more importantly, we're going to peel back the layers on the intricate, often hidden rules and the meticulous production processes that truly shape Married at First Sight.
Pull back the curtain a bit.
Exactly. We want to uncover what really goes on behind the cameras, revealing details about how this whole experiment is actually managed, details you might never have guessed. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So let's begin at the very beginning, right? The genesis of this whole thing.
Yeah.
The rigorous, sometimes kind of baffling process of finding these so-called perfect strangers.
Right.
You might picture people just, filling out a quick online form, maybe uploading a photo.
Yeah, but the sheer scale of interest and the extraordinary lengths the producers go to, it's truly immense.
Immense is the word.
It really is. Genuinely astounding. When Married at First Sight first debuted, season 1, it got over 17,000 applicants.
17,000. For a show nobody really knew yet.
Exactly. And in recent seasons, that figure has just skyrocketed to well over 50,000 hopefuls.
50,000 people willing to marry a complete stranger based on some experts say so.
It's incredible. And it's not just a testament to, the universal desire for love and companionship, but also this powerful, almost unwavering belief in the show's premise.
Yeah.
Even when the full radical concept was initially unknown to many of those early applicants, people were essentially signing up blind.
That statistic alone just speaks volumes about the human search for connection, maybe desperation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this isn't just a passive process, right? They don't just sit back and wait for applications to roll in.
Not at all. The producers are incredibly proactive. They're almost like headhunters for love or maybe drama.
Ah, yeah, maybe drama.
They're actively scouting potential cast members, meticulously combing through dating websites, venturing into bars, attending church groups, even showing up at various social mixers.
Really? Church groups?
Yep. And to illustrate just how far this proactive recruitment goes, there's this fascinating anecdote. One prospective participant was directly recruited via Tinder.
Get out. On Tinder.
On Tinder. And this person wasn't even on the app explicitly looking for marriage. They were just, swiping.
Wow. That just highlights the unconventional, sometimes really surprising methods production uses to make sure they have this truly diverse and, let's face it, often dramatic pool of personalities.
Exactly. Gotta have the personalities.
So, okay, once they've amassed this massive pool of potential candidates, maybe tens of thousands, what's the next step? The vetting process for MAFS is famously described as this intensive, almost forensic deep dive into their personal lives.
Yeah, it spans a rigorous 3 months, apparently.
3 months. That sounds pretty thorough on paper.
It starts with an initial, pretty comprehensive 75 questionnaire, just to get a broad overview.
Good.
If a candidate successfully navigates that first hurdle, they then receive a much, much more extensive 500 questionnaire.
Number of questions.
500. And this document isn't just scanned. It's meticulously analyzed by the production team. They're poring over every detail: past relationships, future aspirations, fears, hopes, everything.
I can barely decide what to have for dinner, let alone answer 500 deeply personal questions about my entire life and psyche.
Yep.
That alone would be an emotional marathon.
Seriously. And that's still just the beginning.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. Those who are selected after the big questionnaire then proceed to meet directly with the show's relationship experts. You know, figures like Dr. Pepper Schwartz, Pastor Cal Roberson, Dr. Pia Holleck.
The familiar faces.
Right. These experts then make their own selections, choosing participants for even further, deeper evaluation.
Deeper than 500 questions?
Apparently so. This phase includes no less than 2 separate psychological evaluation sessions. And these aren't conducted by the show's experts, importantly.
Okay.
They're done by independent external psychologists. Their role is to assess mental fitness, emotional stability, core values, basically to ensure candidates are genuinely prepared for such an unconventional, high-pressure journey.
Okay, that makes sense. But it gets even more specific, right? They don't just look at your psychological state.
No, it gets granular. The evaluations also reportedly delve into specific physical traits.
Physical traits? Like what?
Well, reportedly analyzing the hip-to-waist ratio for women and the hip-to-shoulder ratio for men.
Seriously, why?
Well, while it might strike you, and probably many listeners, as unusual or even superficial,
Yeah, kind of.
these attributes are apparently considered relevant by someone in the process to perceived sexual desirability and compatibility, which the experts then supposedly factor into their complex matching algorithms. It seems like they leave no stone unturned, for better or for worse.
No kidding. So questionnaires, expert meetings, psych evals, even body ratios.
Whoa.
What else?
Beyond all that, there are also incredibly deep background checks performed. And this isn't just a quick criminal record search we're talking about.
Right.
It means social media accounts are thoroughly audited, every public post, every interaction scrutinized. They also conduct extensive interviews with family and friends, trying to get a full, unfiltered picture of the person's character and history.
They talk to your mom. Oh, boy.
They might. And get this in a particularly revealing detail, they even scrutinize pictures of participants' ex-partners?
No. Why?
Trying to identify patterns in their romantic history, understand their typical type, I suppose?
Okay, that feels invasive.
Okay.
But thorough, I guess.
You'd think so. Despite all this supposedly rigorous, multi-layered vetting, the 500 questions, the psych evals, the family interviews, the social media audits,
Yeah.
there was that truly significant and frankly jaw-dropping glitch that blew up into a massive controversy. Season 7, Mia Bali,
Oh, right. She was arrested, wasn't she? Like on the way to the honeymoon.
at the airport. Right as the experiment was supposed to be starting, she was apprehended due to an active felony warrant for stalking and unauthorized credit card use.
A felony warrant.
Yes, and this isn't just some minor oversight. It's a stark revelation that forced a critical question. How thorough are these deep background checks, really?
Exactly. If something like a felony warrant, which is public record, could slip through such an intensive 3-month vetting process.
It fundamentally challenges the integrity of the whole screening system. And, you know, many viewers, even some former participants, have speculated.
What?
Well, whether production might have been aware of such issues beforehand, and perhaps, cynically, hoped for the very drama it would inevitably create on screen.
Oof. That's a dark thought. But it definitely added an unexpected and ethically very concerning twist right at the start of that season.
It certainly did.
Okay, so it's incredible to think about the sheer amount of scrutiny just to find these people, only for something like that to potentially happen. Now, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the actual matching process and the wedding day itself, because there's definitely more going on there than we see on TV.
For sure. The experts, they emphatically claim their pairing philosophy is rooted in science and psychology.
That's the line.
They state their goal is to match couples based on personality, depth-seated compatibility, lifestyle, all with the aim of fostering genuine connections and building, genuinely lasting relationships. They portray themselves as these benevolent matchmakers.
That's the ideal, right? The stated goal. But, I mean, numerous critiques, and frankly, just watching the drama unfold on screen, it strongly suggests that despite those claims, the majority of pairings are maybe not primarily designed for long-term marital success.
You think?
Well, many viewers and insiders seem to believe they are intentionally designed to maximize drama, to create compelling, often volatile television.
Which raises a really important question for you, the listener, right? What does this all mean for the show's stated mission of helping people find love when entertainment, rather than enduring matrimony, seems to be the primary driver?
Is it really a social experiment, or is it just a dramatic casting exercise?
Exactly. It exposes this fundamental tension right at the heart of what Married at First Sight claims to be.
Yeah. And speaking of the matching philosophy, a question that comes up a lot from viewers is, why are there no same-sex couples on the show? Especially now.
It's a very valid question.
Yeah.
And the answer, surprisingly, or maybe conveniently, isn't based on ideology or choice, at least according to production.
What is it then?
It's presented as a logistical challenge. Apparently, during the initial casting stages, potential male and female participants are intentionally grouped separately
Why?
to prevent any accidental meetings between potential partners. It's crucial to preserve that singular, dramatic first-sight surprise on their wedding day. Can't have them bumping into each other at the coffee machine beforehand.
Okay, I guess that makes a certain kind of production sense.
And while the show's producer, Chris Colin, has openly expressed a desire to include same-sex couples and acknowledges the demand from viewers, this structural limitation has, so far, prevented it, though, it's been suggested that alternative formats like virtual meetings or maybe highly staggered auditions could have potentially fixed this.
So maybe in the future, but for now it's a logistics thing.
That's the official line. It highlights how the mechanics of production can inadvertently limit representation.
Interesting. Okay, now this next point is absolutely crucial and I think often misunderstood by people watching. The unions formed on MAFS are not just for TV.
Not at all.
They are, in fact, legally binding marriages, formalized with an actual marriage license issued by the state. There's no faking that part.
That's entirely correct. But, and here's the kind of fake-ish TV wedding twist that most viewers don't realize. The dramatic, emotional ceremony you see on television, the one with the vows and the rings and the crying relatives, that is not the legally binding event.
It's not. So when do they actually get legally married?
The actual legal marriage takes place later, typically at a local courthouse, often on the very next business day, like the following Monday, much less fanfare.
Why do they do that? Why the delay?
It's a very deliberate strategic choice. It's specifically implemented to prevent participants from seeing their spouse's full legal name on the marriage license right before the ceremony.
So they can't Google them last minute.
Exactly. If they had that info before the televised ceremony, they could potentially research their stranger spouse online, uncover details, and spoil the big reveal.
Got to preserve the surprise.
It preserves that element of surprise and that genuine, unfiltered reaction that is so central to the show's premise. It's all about maintaining the illusion of the first sight.
Makes sense. And adding another layer of legal protection. Prenups, right?
Yes. Every single couple is required to sign a prenuptial agreement before they even walk down the aisle.
Required, not optional.
Not optional. It's a fundamental contractual protection. It basically ensures, quote, what you walk into the marriage with is what you walk out with.
So all that on-screen drama we sometimes see about whether or not to sign a prenup, like with Stasha and Nate.
Often, that's likely a producer-driven storyline, purely for entertainment. The actual legal document is already signed and sealed by then. Any on-camera hesitation is probably just for theatrical effect.
Wow. So, okay, it's legally binding. Prenups are mandatory. Do the couples get any say in their actual wedding day, beyond just showing up?
Surprisingly, yes, they do get some input. Couples apparently have a say in details like their wedding dresses, suits, flower arrangements, even the general style of the venue.
Okay, a little bit of control.
A little bit. However, there's this massive, almost impenetrable layer of secrecy surrounding the whole production. Strict non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, are signed by absolutely everyone involved.
Everyone. Like the guests, too.
Everyone. Cast members, all wedding attendees, every single crew member. It's specifically to prevent any details, big or small, from leaking before the season airs. It just emphasizes the show's absolute commitment to controlling the public narrative.
Total lockdown.
And that level of control, established on the wedding day, extends far beyond just the ceremony itself.
Right, because once those rings are on, the legal papers are signed, the real marriage experience begins. and every moment unfolds under the constant eye of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
The show basically orchestrates their day-to-day lives.
It really does. They create this highly controlled environment. For the duration of the 8-week experiment, each couple is provided with corporate apartments.
Like furnished places.
Yeah, corporate housing. And while participants aren't technically required to stay overnight every single night, they could go to their own homes, visit family, whatever, they must be present within these residences for filming.
So their daily lives are largely contained within these specific apartments.
Wow.
Creates a bit of an artificial bubble.
Exactly. But here's an interesting twist within that controlled environment.
Yeah.
Contestants apparently largely dictate their own filming schedules.
Really? How does that work?
Well, some couples might be filmed for, say, 8 hours a day, almost every day, capturing every little interaction. Others might have filming days that are less frequent or shorter.
So there's this perception, maybe an illusion, of control for the participants over how much time the cameras are actually rolling.
Right. It's a delicate balance between reality and engineered interaction, it seems.
And I heard they do something to capture those really raw initial reactions.
Oh, yeah. The production employs this specific, almost psychological tactic. The first few couples who get married are often sequestered individually for a few days right after their TV weddings.
While the others are still getting married.
Exactly. While the remaining couples film their ceremonies, this isolation period is strategic. It ensures production can capture their genuine, unfiltered emotions and initial thoughts about marrying a stranger before they've had a chance to connect off camera, talk to others, or mentally process the enormity of it all.
Keeps the reactions as authentic as possible for TV.
That's the goal.
Clever.
Mm.
If intense.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the experts themselves. They're positioned as these invaluable guides, right? The show emphasizes that contestants do have access to them.
Supposedly, yeah, to help them navigate the unprecedented waters of marrying a stranger, offering guidance through fears, concerns, squabbles.
That's the theory. And they definitely appear on screen giving advice.
They do. However, many former participants have openly expressed a significant desire for more expert involvement than they actually received.
Really, like they weren't around enough.
Yeah. They've suggested the experts often appear primarily just for filming, delivering what some have cynically called therapy nuggets.
Therapy nuggets.
They're brief, impactful statements designed for the camera before departing. Gina from the Nashville season, a former participant, described her experience. She said the experts felt more like TV personalities.
Ouch.
Yeah, like they were simply there to tape a show, rather than being deeply invested in the personal long-term outcome of her marriage.
Which raises that really important question again. How much genuine, sustained therapeutic support is truly provided versus how much is just content for the show's narrative?
The blurry line.
Very blurry. And that distinction between genuine support and strategically staged content gets even more blurred when we start digging into the fine print of their contracts. The potential for manipulation, and how aggressively the show controls its public image.
Right. This is where the real mechanics of reality television come into sharp focus. Production companies are contractually permitted and often actively choose to manipulate a couple's or an individual's storyline for entertainment purposes.
Manipulate how? Like selective editing.
It goes beyond subtle editing. It can mean producers literally Frankensteining dialogue, editing together sentences from entirely different conversations to create dramatic scenes that, in reality, never actually occurred as presented.
Wait, they can take something I said Tuesday and splice it with something I said Friday to make it sound like one conversation?
That's what's alleged. And that level of creative editing is, well, it's astonishing. It fundamentally undermines the whole idea of reality, doesn't it?
Totally. If dialogue can be stitched together like that, how much of what we see is truly authentic? It challenges our perception.
And it goes beyond just editing, doesn't it? Producers actively guide things, too.
How so?
They guide conversations toward hot-button topics, toward predetermined dramatic arcs, by the specific, often leading questions they ask participants during interviews or even during filmed interactions.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, particularly compelling and painful example is the experience of Dom and Max.
Oh, I remember them. That was tough to watch.
Producers repeatedly, persistently tried to push Mac to discuss his experience being married to a black woman, even though the couple had apparently made a very clear pact to avoid race-related discussions on camera.
They kept pushing him.
relentlessly, according to reports. Mac eventually crumbled under this pressure, and unfortunately, Dom lost a significant amount of respect for him because of it.
Wow.
And this incident vividly illustrates how producer influence, through that persistent questioning and guiding narratives, can actively cause more harm than good within these fragile new marriages. They're essentially manufacturing conflict for entertainment.
That's pretty damaging. So, given all this intense scrutiny, the controlled environment, the potential for manipulation, what about pay? Do participants get compensated for enduring this?
That's a good question, and the reports on this are surprisingly conflicting, adds another layer of mystery.
How so?
While some early reports, maybe trying to uphold that pure love narrative, suggested participants got no pay at all.
Zero.
Zero. Supposedly to ensure their motivations were purely for love, not money. However, other more recent sources indicate participants get around $1,500 per episode.
Okay, that's something.
Usually paid in like 25% installments throughout the season. But then other conflicting reports cite even higher figures, $15,000 for the first season, maybe up to $25,000 by the third season.
So the numbers are kind of all over the place.
Exactly. They seem to vary widely, or maybe they've evolved over time. Hard to pin down a definitive number for every season.
And then there's the pressure to stay.
Yeah.
Right, even if things are clearly a disaster. I heard about a massive fine.
Yes, a critical contractual clause has reportedly threatened a hefty $50,000 fine for participants who choose to leave the show early, like mid-season.
$50,000.
Yeah,
Just for quitting.
that's the reported figure. Now, this clause got a lot of attention and was supposedly removed from Love is Blind contracts after accusations of poor treatment and lawsuits.
Right.
But its exact status for Married at First Sight contracts remains unconfirmed. It's a point of much speculation.
But does leaving mean just moving out?
Not necessarily. It's important to clarify that if participants continue to film, make themselves available for production, even if they physically separate or don't move in together, that generally doesn't count as leaving the show in the contract's eyes.
Okay. So as long as you film.
Pretty much. The final decision on enforcing any such fine ultimately rests with the producers, which gives them significant leverage, obviously.
Clearly. And it's abundantly clear production wants the narrative tightly controlled. That extends powerfully to social media, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Social media is huge for reality TV engagement, but MAFS locks it down. Participants are explicitly forbidden from having public social media accounts or posting any behind-the-scenes content until after the very final episode of their season has aired.
Complete silence until the show is totally over.
Total silence. This rule is strictly enforced by those ironclad NDAs they sign. It's designed to prevent any spoilers, any behind-the-scenes tea from leaking and disrupting the carefully crafted on-screen story.
Are there any exceptions, like for business owners?
Rare exceptions are made, yeah, but only for entrepreneurs whose existing social media profiles are integral to their established businesses. Otherwise, it's radio silence.
And they enforce this.
Oh, yeah. We saw a stark example with Chris from season 12 after he went off on Instagram complaining about his storyline and portrayal.
Yeah.
He publicly claimed he received a cease and desist letter directly from the network.
Wow.
It just highlights the tight grip production maintains over the narrative and their brand image, even after filming wraps. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, now let's transition from the unseen mechanics to the highly visible chaos. We've got to dive into some of the most memorable, often uncomfortable moments when things just spectacularly went wrong on screen.
Oh, there have been plenty.
This show, for all its stated intentions, has given us some truly jaw-dropping scandals that captivated and often horrified viewers.
Indeed. Some pairings, despite all that vetting we talked about, just seemed doomed from the absolute start.
Like who?
Remember Derek Schwartz and Heather Seidel in season 4? Their relationship was vividly described by viewers as like water and oil. Fundamentally incompatible. It deteriorated so rapidly, so dramatically, so publicly, even during their honeymoon, that it quickly earned the distinction of being one of the worst marriages in the show's history.
Yeah, it's rough. And more recently, season 17, right? The Denver season.
Oh, Denver. Widely labeled by critics and fans alike as one of the biggest disappointments in the entire franchise, just marked by consistently dysfunctional, seemingly disinterested couples, very little genuine connection visible.
It felt like nobody even wanted to be there by the end.
Pretty much. And then thinking about Bombshells, Chris Williams, season 12.
Oh God, yes. The pregnancy reveal.
He shockingly revealed to his new wife, Paige Banks, that his ex-fiancée was pregnant.
Like right after getting married.
Pretty much right at the start. It wasn't just a revelation. It was like a detonation of their fragile marriage from the get-go.
And that sparked massive controversy, right? Not just because of the news itself.
Exactly. It was combined with Chris's earlier declaration on camera that he wanted a submissive wife.
Ugh.
And the fact that he was reportedly engaged just before joining the experiment. Many viewers felt these were colossal red flags.
That the experts should have seen. Or did see.
That's the debate. Did they miss them or deliberately ignore them for Paige, who was then subjected to what many called terrible treatment? It seriously questioned the expert's judgment. Good story over good match.
Yeah, that was a really uncomfortable season to watch for her.
Okay.
What about Dominique and Clint's kiss in season 16?
Yes. Dominique, who some viewers already felt was maybe too young for marriage, her own marriage to McKinley Gilbert had already failed spectacularly. Then, somewhat surprisingly, she connected with Clint, who was actually matched with Gina Micheletti.
Right. They shared that kiss.
Shocked viewers. Created this ripple of awkwardness across the cast, though their little flirtation fizzled out pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Left more questions than answers. Okay, darker stuff, though. Ryan Danino, season 2.
Yes. He became infamous not really for his on-screen marriage, but for his alleged actions after filming ended.
What happened again?
He allegedly threatened to harm his wife, Jessica Castro, and her family off camera. This led to restraining orders being filed against him, a genuine legal and safety issue.
Which again brings up the screening process.
Exactly. Given his alleged prior anger issues, it made many viewers wonder exactly what those deep background checks actually uncovered or maybe chose to overlook.
Very concerning. And the dog attack. Justin and Alexis, season 15.
Yes. Their marriage was already struggling, right? Intimacy issues, mismatched expectations, lots of tension.
Palpable tension.
And then the major turning point, totally unexpected, Justin's dog, Maya, attacked Alexis's dog, Newton.
Which was traumatic for Alexis.
Absolutely. And it led her to demand that Justin choose between her and his dog.
And he chose her, initially.
He did. In an effort to save the marriage, he made the incredibly difficult decision to rehome his beloved dog.
But it didn't work, did it?
Nope. Even that drastic measure couldn't save their union. They still divorced. Thankfully, he did eventually reunite with Maya after she got behavioral training. Some bonds are stronger than reality TV.
A small silver lining there. Okay, beyond just interpersonal drama, the shows also face big controversies about cultural insensitivity, even outright deception.
Yeah, eroding viewer trust significantly. Season 17, again, Lauren Goodger and Orion Martzloff.
Their marriage seemed okay at first, right?
Yeah.
Based on shared cultural appreciation.
It did initially, but it was shattered by this deeply offensive comment Lauren made.
Remind me.
During a sensitive discussion about racial slurs, Lauren said she'd never use the term redskin. Then, in a moment that caused immediate widespread outrage, she made a comment about looking at his skin, or Ryan being a proud Native American, and she laughed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was bad.
It caused a significant, immediate, and lasting rift. It just completely derailed their connection and highlighted this fundamental lack of understanding or sensitivity.
Yeah, that was rough. And then, arguably, one of the biggest controversies that really undermined the show's whole premise, the season 17 group manipulation.
The Denver dupe.
Right. The Denver season went down as one of the worst ever. 0 lasting marriages, tons of manufactured drama.
And during the reunion, it was sensationally revealed that the participants had collaboratively tried to fool the producers and viewers to control the narrative of their season. They were caught orchestrating events, pre-planning conversations, lying, manipulating things.
The women even formed like a united front, didn't they?
Yeah, almost a sorority of deception against the male cast to control how their stories were perceived. This collective, organized deception just severely questioned the show's credibility.
Left viewers wondering what, if anything, was real.
Exactly. It was a direct challenge to the reality in reality TV.
And participants haven't been shy about pushing back against the show and the experts sometimes, right? Leading to some raw moments.
Definitely. Kristen Collins from season 15 is a great example. She showed immense patience with Mitch Silverstein, who openly admitted he wasn't physically attracted to her.
Which must have been awful to hear constantly.
Right. But she reached her absolute breaking point on decision day.
What did she do?
In this really powerful, unscripted moment, she just openly expressed her profound frustration with the textbirds. for pairing her with someone so clearly uncommitted physically, for seemingly ignoring her desires for mutual attraction.
Good for her.
She even disregarded Dr. Pepper Shorts' attempts to mediate, delivering this direct, scathing critique of the experiment's perceived failure for her. It was compelling a participant confronting the matchmaker's blind spots.
Wow. But perhaps the most scandalous controversy of all, the one that really blurred lines between professional ethics and entertainment,
Yeah.
involved an expert herself, Dr. Jessica Griffin.
Ah, yes. Dr. Jessica, prominent from seasons 6 through 8. She shocked many when she began dating John Francetic.
Who was a participant she had helped match.
With Molly Duff in season 6, exactly. Now, they got married in 2022, claim they're happy, but the relationship sparked huge controversy.
Understandably.
What's fascinating here are the serious ethical concerns it immediately raised. In therapy, there's an inherent power imbalance, right?
Sure.
The therapist holds trust, influence. Engaging romantically with a former patient, even after therapy ends, can be seen as exploiting that vulnerability, blurring crucial boundaries.
Especially in this high-pressure reality TV context.
Precisely. It forced a critical look. Are these experts therapists or just casting agents in white coats? Dr. Jessica's screen time was noticeably reduced after that, often appearing alone. Many linked it directly to the controversy.
Yeah, that was a big one. And finally, from that same wild season 17, Claire's alleged secrets.
Right. Cameron, her ex-husband from the show, publicly revealed Claire had secrets she desperately wanted hidden.
And speculation went wild, right? What could they be?
All sorts. Was it just that she wasn't attracted to him? Cameron claimed she was interested in large black men? Or was it manipulative behavior? Gossiping? Or maybe trying to protect her budding therapy career from the show's drama?
And Cameron accused her of trying to silence him.
He did. And her frantic texts during one of his interviews seemed to confirm her attempts to control the narrative. The whole thing sparked intense debate about her professionalism, authenticity, how much participants curate their image versus engaging genuinely.
Shows the pressure they're under.
Immense pressure.
Okay, so after decision day, after the cameras pack up, after all that intense drama,
Yeah.
what happens next? What's life like post-experiment when actual reality sets in?
Well, the reality of their legal situation and potential divorce lingers long after the cameras are gone. Even if a couple says no on decision day,
Yeah.
participants are contractually obligated not to remove their wedding rings or formally file for divorce until after the very final episode of their season airs.
Wait, even if they decided to divorce weeks or months earlier on the show?
Correct. They remain legally married in the eyes of the law for a significant period beyond what viewers see.
That's huge.
Right.
Think about season 18, filmed fall 2023, aired final episode Feb 2025. That means they were legally married for potentially up to a year and a half after filming wrapped.
A year and a half. Regardless of their on-camera decision, it's a long time to stay legally bound to a stranger you might already despise, all for TV.
Wow. And what about the cost of divorce? Does the show help with that?
The production company does offer to contribute to divorce costs, specifically helping with attorney fees.
Okay, that's something.
But this assistance comes with strict conditions. It's only offered if the divorce is uncontested and happens within a very specific time frame after the season concludes.
So if they try to make it work for a while after the show and then divorce?
Then the financial responsibility for all legal fees falls entirely on them. It kind of incentivizes a quick, clean split if things don't work out right away.
That's a pretty significant detail. Puts
Yeah.
a lot of the burden back on them if they actually try beyond the show's timeline.
Okay, speaking of the human element, the emotional toll.
Mm-hmm.
What about post-filming support? Therapy?
Yeah, recognizing the intense emotional and psychological toll this unique experiment can take, production does offer therapy resources after filming wraps.
Yeah.
Especially if, as they say, things go left.
Which they often do.
Which they often do. And this support is crucial given how overwhelming the experience can be.
And it's not offered without reason, right? I remember Lindsay from the San Diego season. Yes, she openly shared her incredibly difficult experience. Revealed she actually experienced suicidal thoughts after taping the show due to the immense pressure and emotional distress.
That's devastating, but highlights the real impact.
Exactly. It shows the profound, sometimes traumatic emotional fallout. These are real people, not just characters, undergoing intensely destabilizing experiences. Fortunately, Lindsay did use the show's therapy offer, and it provided vital support, a stark reminder of the human cost.
Definitely. Okay, and finally, the after-party segments and those NDAs, how does that work?
Right. The after party, where cast members discuss the season's events. It's not filmed in real time after each episode airs.
No, when is it filmed?
It's taped months after decision day. Months later.
Months. So they're trying to remember how they felt way back when.
Pretty much. Digging into their memory banks to recall feelings and specific events weeks or months prior. Imagine trying to perfectly relive those intense, raw moments on cue for the cameras, knowing every word is scrutinized.
Adds another layer of performance to supposed reflection.
And the delay is entirely tactical. Episodes aren't edited fast enough for real-time commentary, remember? Over 20 hours of raw footage per couple per week.
Wow.
Producers want to avoid cast members responding to footage that might not even make the final cut, potentially giving away spoilers or reacting to things viewers won't see, so they wait until the season is fully edited before taping after party.
Play it safe. And the power of the NDA, still strong even then.
Oh, incredibly strong. Those non-disclosure agreements are rigorously enforced to prevent participants from spilling behind-the-scenes tea during and after the show airs. Kinetic Content, the production company, is notoriously serious about NDA.
They'll actually threaten legal action.
They have a history of legally threatening participants who dispute storylines or reveal unauthorized info. We mentioned Chris from season 12 earlier after going off on Instagram. He claimed he got a cease and desist letter from the network.
So they maintain tight control over the narrative, the image, everything, even years later.
From beginning to end and beyond, they control the story. So what does this all mean?
Right. We've taken this deep dive into the surprisingly complex, often ethically ambiguous world of Married at First Sight. We've pulled back the curtain on everything from the extensive yet sometimes flawed vetting, the fake-ish TV weddings, to the profound ethical dilemmas like the expert-participant relationships and the very real, often traumatic emotional toll on cast members.
Yeah.
We've seen firsthand how tightly controlled these narratives are: contractual manipulation, strict NDAs, keeping a lid on everything.
It's a truly fascinating look at the intricate machinery, the calculated choices underpinning this whole social experiment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's the final thought. Considering this highly structured, often manipulated environment, the binding contracts, the potential for manipulated narratives, the significant emotional impact, can Married at First Sight truly be considered a genuine social experiment designed to find lasting love? Or is it, fundamentally, a masterfully engineered, high-stakes form of entertainment, carefully designed to maximize drama and keep us watching? And what does our continued consumption of shows like this imply about the increasingly blurred lines between what's truly reality and what's simply television, crafted for our viewing pleasure?